Reads the ram. I said, reads the ram. What's going on, Aries? And here's your reading for March 2020. If you're new to the channel, hey, what's going on? I'm glad we found each other. And if you are returning, thank you for rocking with me, but most importantly, rocking for yourself. Okay, Aries, as I was tuning into your energy and preparing your spread here for this month, a couple things came through, Aries, psychically, and just what I picked up on. Aries, I was picking up on like a lot of like maybe pain or strain in like the upper back, like the shoulder area, like right here. And, Aries, spiritually, when we have pain in that area, so it's like the upper back, the neck, and the shoulder area, it's symbolic of what are we carrying, meaning are we carrying other people's problems on our back and feeling like the weight of the world is like on your shoulders, That's really interesting that came up. Also to this, a song came up for you as well, Aries. I'm going to go and leave it here for you and check that out, okay? But before we go any further, Aries, it's your birthday month, so turn up. Happy birthday, Aries. Okay, Aries, you have a very interesting spread this month. I feel, Aries, like you're on like a quest this month, right? To really understand your emotional nature. And I feel like throughout the process, Aries, you're becoming like confused or turned off, where it's almost as if like you're adopting like a new way of looking at your emotional nature, and it's taking a complete 360 turn. It's positive, it's good, but it's so fresh and new that it's like almost to or upon like the contrary to who you normally are and how you normally like your normal energy, So in me saying all that, you may be questioning a lot of like the validity of your emotional processing during this time, I really feel here. But at the same time, it's like you're becoming more aware of like yourself. You're becoming more aware of how you affect other people and how other people, places, things affect you as well. The exchange of energy and of energetic exchanges, particularly emotional here, Aries. And like I feel like you're now looking out into the world in a sense, and you're kind of like saying, where do I fit into the entirety of this, and how do I go about making this like a positive thing, and how do I, it's a lot of like confusion, but it's going to settle, Aries. It's really going to, and it's going to make a lot of sense, because I can see here, Aries, like what's kind of in your control or in your delegation this month, Aries, is really you are able to take a look at your past in terms of like where emotional wounds come up, where where you weren't heard, where you weren't acknowledged, where you weren't taken serious, those types of experiences, and being able to really look at them and really forgive people, places, and things that kind of deflected that onto you. Most importantly, forgiving yourself, Aries, because remember, when we forgive, it's not for the other person, Aries, it's for ourselves. Now, in me saying that, when we do forgive, it's not that we condone that person's, disgracing behavior or what they did, in a sense here. It's just you are forgiving yourself, Aries, because you're no longer going to carry that shit around with you. And you're no longer going to allow it to define you nor create your future. Because, Aries, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. So here, Aries, what's in your control or what's in your delegation, Aries, is really looking at your past and forgiving your past and realizing that it doesn't define who you are, Aries. It simply just adds like a texture to who you are right now, currently, and what you are going to become and who you are through your spiritual growth, Now, what's outside of your control, Aries, this month, I feel here, is how other people respond to you. and how other people, whether they approve or whether they disapprove, Aries. And, Aries, the only thing that we really have control over in a sense is like whether we want to get back at someone, our emotional state in a sense, you know what I mean? Anything that comes from us. We don't even have control over our own body, Aries. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if our kidney wants to go out or needs to go out, it's going to go out regardless. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things, Aries, where it's like recognizing that where you have delegation, where you have control, and where you don't, and anything that is external to you, you immediately don't have control over or say in, Aries, and recognizing that and really embodying that. And really, there's a lot of spiritual growth this month, Aries, for you, I really feel here. Now, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here, Aries, but check this out. So, right before I, started your reading and laying out all the cards and all that, I went outside to smoke a cigarette, right? And I saw this, in the corner of my eye, I saw this star. I'm going to put up a picture of it right now for you. And this star is it's represented by a certain meaning, Aries. I'm gonna delve into that. It's the cause media star, right? And it's in the Sagittarius constellation, and it's particularly in the middle of the Archer's bow, right? And what this does, Aries, or what it symbolizes here, is the junction or meeting point of nakshatras, right? Which a nakshatra is Vedic astrology or Indian astrology for the spiritual nature of the zodiac signs and of the zodiac belt. Now, let me get more into this, okay? So, Aries, I'm going to try and explain this as best I can, as quick as I can. What nakshatras are, Aries, it's basically like, we have our normal zodiac belt with all the 12 zodiac signs, Now, picture like if there was another bigger belt around the circumference of that one, That's basically what the nakshatras are, and what they represent is they represent the spiritual nature that, Source, God, the divine, allows to us, the energetic flow and current of, that energy in conjunction with the zodiac belt. I hope that makes sense. They're also called the lunar mansions. Anyway, and there's a couple of nakshatras that start with the word Purva and Uttara, right? Now, there's a couple sections of them, but what's important here I want you to recognize is that the sets of nakshatras that start with Purva and Uttara, they're basically two nakshatras that are combined together, right, to make like one section of the sky. So it's the Purva is first, and then the Uttara is second. And it kind of creates like two things together, like they melt together to make one whole, right? Now, what specifically here, Aries, and what this star and everything outside and how it relates to your reading here is Purva Ashada and Uttara Ashada. What they do here and what the Ashada means, right, is the Ashada is like basically what they represent is like spiritual awakening and enlightenment. Now, stay with me here, Aries. Now, Purva Ashada, what, in a nutshell, what this means is, because we go through Purva first and then Uttara after, like a steady flow. Now, Purva Ashada, what it pretty much represents here, Aries, is like when we encounter like certain experiences in life, we then kind of behave in a certain way to that we think will get us ahead, kind of immaturity in a sense here, non-evolved in a sense. Here we also it's like when we also learn through like the journey of the soul, Aries, like we begin to like separate the authentic and the superficial self that we carry, like the mask we wear and who we truly are at the core. Here we also slowly start to peel away at like the layers of the ego, right? So we get back to the true nature and the true core of who we truly are on a spiritual level. You know what I mean? The authentic self starts to come out, or you're getting hints of it. And it's also Purva Ashada, also the influence and energy that it has is that it's basically getting to the root, Aries, of our true spiritual, authentic core self and our true spiritual nature. Now, when we exit Purva Ashada and then we enter Uttara Ashada, right, is when we start to enter Uttara Ashada. Here, Aries, is where we start to assimilate our newfound authentic spiritual self. We start to embody and we look at it and we're like, okay, what's going on here, right? Then through this process, when we assimilate it and take it in, we then gain like a wider perspective of like our truth, or of just truth in general, truth of the universe, and also of our true self, just truth in general. And it's very interesting, Aries, because through Uttara Ashada, it's very interesting because we also kind of experience suffering. Now, when we experience suffering, Aries, is when we develop humility, when we develop empathy, and when we develop compassion, not just for ourselves, but also for other people, places, and things external to us. And it's here, Aries, is where we really understand like a deep connection, like between the self, you, and another person or the other outside of yourself. Like, kind of like this saying, like in the spiritual community, we're all one, so you start to learn about the deeper connections of how like spiritual gnosis works, and how spiritual esoteric information and knowledge works. You start to develop that. And also too, through Uttara Ashada, Aries, is when we really recognize, like, in life, in our spiritual development, there's really nothing to lose in life. You know what I mean? But the one thing that cannot never be lost at all is dignity. And when we develop dignity, is the only way that we can develop dignity is when we have an authentic and understanding and a connection with our soul. Now, to wrap all this up here, what basically both of these nakshatras do, when we move from into Purva Ashada, and then we exit, or the second one, we exit through Uttara Ashada, is that through Purva Ashada is where we begin to like get hints of our own true nature. And then through that we get curious, and then through Uttara Ashada is when we then we start to establish a new life, a spiritual path, a spiritual walk, and it's where we basically learn the true nature of like all of existence, and we also learn the true nature of the true inner self and spiritual self of who we really truly are at the core. Now, that was a mouthful. Now, Aries, so it's very interesting how when I went outside and I saw that star and I researched the star, it was my intuition and my guides were coming through for you. It's this star specifically is where the meeting or the junction of Purva Ashada and Uttara Ashada, it's that point where they start to meld together, both of those nakshatras. And I felt like it was just really like interesting, Aries, and really poignant to really let you know this and to deliver this to you. So basically, Aries, to sum this all up, you are really understanding the true self of who you really truly are, and you're working through that to understand who you are at the core, you know what I mean? But on a whole like spiritual guru type of situation or undertone regarding all of that. All right, Aries, very unique reading. I'm gonna go ahead and pop out one of these quotes here, right? It's a pail full of quotes from 4 very profound philosophers: Epictetus, Aurelius, Seneca, and Plato. And they're just random very interesting quotes from them, from their work. So let's see what I have in store for you here. See what pops out. Aries, March 2020. Okay, Aries, let's see. Okay. Never depend on the admiration of others. There is no strength in it. Personal merit cannot be derived from an external source. And that came from Epictetus. How interesting, Aries. It's the example, Aries, of never look externally for any type of validation, because when you do that, Aries, and this goes for everyone, every human, when we look externally for any type of validation, we immediately lose, because by default, nothing outside of ourselves can ever truly fulfill us or truly make us happy, or would truly give us a understanding of who we really truly are at the core. You know what I mean? Also to Aries, that's why it's, it's said that Jesus, God, whatever, your belief systems is, or however you interpret that or whatever that is for you, let's just say source, God, is always in your heart and it's within yourself. And everything that you need, Aries, every answer, every inquiry is always it comes from within, and everything that you need and the answers that you seek are always come from within. And I know that's kind of cliche to say, you know what I mean? But Aries, I really feel like this month it's a real turning point for you, where you're going to really embark on this journey, where you're really going to start to like have dark night of the soul, maybe possibly in a positive way, and just really trying to understand who you truly are at the core, so that then you can recognize that you're a multi-dimensional, spiritual being having a human experience. You know what I mean? That makes sense to you, Aries. All right, Aries, that's what I'm getting here for you for March 2020. Do me a favor, Aries, if this video assisted you or helped you in any way, in any kind of way or kind of style, let me know by smashing that like button, and also to dropping a comment and letting me know, how it helped you, Aries. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading for yourself, Aries, go to visit intuitiveperceptions.com. And if you'd like to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on intuitiveperceptions.com, the website, or Facebook Messenger, and all that information, all that stuff is in the description box below. All right, Aries, we'll see you next month. And as always, God bless and love and light.